Alright, aloha everybody. It's been a while since the last video. Could be a year, maybe over a year since I did one. But anyway, I got the email from YouTube saying some functions of my account would be deactivated or no longer available if I don't keep up with the videos or update with that. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to get back to it. We've a little bit of update on my life. I've kind of we've moved into a new house and all of the work and effort that comes with that. I'm currently sitting in the soon-to-be workshop for my archery, hunting, and shooting stuff and all of that. So hopefully in the future, I hope to share that with you guys, and maybe that will be of value for local folks here on the Big Island or in Hawaii, or maybe the videos in general like this. Anyway, in this video, I think I'm going to do it in two parts because I find certain value in the hunting part of stuff. As you guys know, that's what my videos are. But I also find a certain and maybe even more prioritized value in the things that are outside of the hunting that allow us to go hunting, or the systems that allow us to have public hunting here locally. And I find that incredibly important. So in this video, I want to talk about that section first with respect to the upcoming Lanai State Axis Deer Hunt. It's probably the most popular hunt that the state of Hawaii has, or at least certainly probably the one that has the most overseas visitors that come to hunt it. And probably the most, if not the mouflon hunt, the mouflon sheep hunt, the axis deer being in the same area, probably axis deer maybe being the most iconic species we have, other than perhaps mouflon, depending on who you are and what your preferences are. But anyway, I love the axis deer hunt. It's great eating, and you know, of course, you guys know I lived here since I was a kid. I live on the Big Island though. I don't live on the island of Lanai where the hunting is taking place. Axis deer exist only on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. Maui is mostly private land hunting. Molokai quite similar, mostly private land. Lanai has really the only publicly accessible axis deer hunting and the widest opportunities for axis deer hunting. There's even a year-round archery hunt and year-round opportunities for gun and all of that as well. But anyway, I'm going to focus on the state hunt because that's kind of what people apply for and go into. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the island, the community, which I find extremely important. Maybe a little bit about the hunt and some logistics that I think all the locals know this, but I do realize that I have quite an audience that are overseas, that may come from the mainland or even other countries. So hopefully maybe this information can get you started and maybe save me from answering like a lot of questions on the social medias or things like that. You guys can just watch this video and try to go start there and maybe try to figure out some of these things yourself. And yeah, I can just be more useful this way. I can't answer everybody. My job's too crazy. But anyway, first priority. And this actually, to me, this goes for even just any tourist visiting Hawaii, or anywhere that, even if I were to go visit the mainland, say I go Wyoming elk hunting, or maybe some of you guys know I love the ibex hunt in New Mexico. I just went on one in January. Lost all my cameras in that, so I don't have video of it too much, and luckily I replaced it with this camera here. But respect being the key word in all of that. So respecting the places that we go to. So when I go to Wyoming, I try to meet some locals there, try to see how they hunt and how they carry themselves and why they do what they do, and you know, kind of get to know the area a little bit in that way as well. And similar to going to New Mexico, get to know some of the locals there, and super cool people in Deming, New Mexico there on the ibex hunt. And for yourself, if maybe it's your first time visiting the island of Lanai, I can say that Lanai is it's one of the least populated islands, or of the main islands, and it's actually mostly privately owned. If you guys are familiar with the company Oracle, you know, a big S&P 500 company probably. You know, Larry Ellison being the CEO of that company. I don't know if he's the CEO anymore, but surely maybe a board member or something. But he's one of the, you know, top 5 or top 10 wealthiest people in the world. So most of the island is privately owned, and the hunt is actually the state of Hawaii leases a portion of the island, maybe a third of the island or so, a third or half of the island, for this state public hunting opportunity. But getting back to respect, so being least densely populated, right? Very small population of people. Similarly, the people on Molokai is very similar if you were to visit there. It's kind of like stepping back in time, right? It doesn't have all of the big supermarkets, and there's not a single traffic light on Lanai to my knowledge yet. It's been a couple years or years since I've been there, but yeah, there's not been a traffic light. And I can remember when I was a kid, the jail used to actually be a shipping container with windows cut in it and bars. So it's kind of stepping back in time, and with the people in the community comes the old ways and the old times too, and respect being a very important one of them. And in that, I think what you should know is that a lot of, they don't have access to supermarkets. There's not tons of industry or economy for people to have like super high paying jobs or anything. So a lot of local people there, or they live on the ocean and the land. So they eat the fish in the ocean and the meat on the land, the deer, the sheep, all of that. So it's not, while for many of us that have big cities and supermarkets and all of that, for some of the people there, this hunt and these animals and the fish in the ocean, it's their livelihood. It's food for them. They can't simply go buy the expensive, imported beef in the store. Some people even sell access deer in the stores there for astronomically crazy prices. You may see that if you go to the grocery store. Crazy stuff in Hawaii, but nonetheless, there exists the old ways, and a lot of people. There's a sizable group of people on Lanai and Molokai that live off these animals, these species. So definitely have some respect for that. Like I wouldn't go there with all this like fanfare and glamour surrounded around the trophy hunting stuff and all of that. Or the ego type hunting. I definitely would love to see more participation and more people enjoying it. That provides money in the local economy there and all of that. However, just understand some sensitivities, that it is food for those folks, and they do take it seriously, and it's not something that people just throw around, right? So you're not gonna find them, just wasting meat or, just cutting off heads and taking trophies only without any regard to the meat. And that's crazy because axis deer is like the best eating like venison in the world. I mean, you guys can look that up, but I can certainly vouch for it. But I love all the game that I eat, to be honest. So I really can't say that I have a favorite. Goats would probably be the lowest on my list, but other than that, everything else is pretty good eating to me. So don't waste it. Kind of respect the people there, respect the culture, understand that it's a food animal. It's not just sport hunting. I hate that word sport hunting. It's not really a sport, but it's not just like this pastime for everybody there. For some of them, it is livelihood. It is their life. Right. The next piece I want to talk about is the hunt itself. I'm hugely sensitive, or I want hunters to be aware of the places that they hunt and the system that they're hunting under, especially if it's a public type of hunt. I am so partial and so grateful to have public hunting opportunities. If not for that, I wouldn't be a hunter, right? I don't have large private land or access to exclusive private land to go hunting. I'm just the average Joe Blow. Gotta go out there and hunt with everybody else. But those public opportunities are what provides the hunter base and population that we have to continue on and have the hunting opportunities that we enjoy today. So on this hunt, I think that you should know that Hawaii has a very large, quite extreme environmentalist movement, and that movement would love nothing more than to eradicate every single non-native game species in the islands. Like if they could snap their fingers tomorrow, they're people pulling the strings behind the scenes and stuff, I think they would totally eradicate all the species, starting with the mammals, of course. Sheep and deer probably first, pigs along those lines as well, and then work their way down based on some perceived important priority of which one does more damage to the environment. And I'm not saying they don't do damage to the environment. They certainly do. Unmanaged, they do damage to the environment. However, yeah, for those environmentalists, come on, let's get real, right? We live here. There's going to be some impact on the environment, and there's just some human element of culture and community and food and subsistence and all these other things that you kind of need to balance out. And it's not just some like pristine bunch of lava that came out of the ocean turns into an island and everything else is just that came is bad, right? But just understand when you're hunting here that, you know, there is a very strong lobby to get rid of these things. And we have a current state government that is not very supportive of the longevity for public hunting in Hawaii. They are much more inclined to go toward the extreme environmentalist side. The extreme environmentalism has more money, they have more people lobbying for it. Hunters, if you're watching this, right, you guys got 9 to 5s or you got work, but some people are paid to be environmentalists, right? They're paid on some tax dollars even to be there all the time, to be in the ears of our lawmakers and our state officials to tell them how bad all of these animals we hunt are, that you need to eradicate them, you need to give them money first to do it, and the hell with what the hunters say. There's no value in the hunting side of things, and that's totally wrong. Mind you, I think I said it at the beginning of the video, this is the most popular hunt in Hawaii, I believe, left. There was better popular hunts around the other islands too, but some of those things got eradicated and wiped out. So that's probably why, you know, if you guys are on the mainland or in other areas, maybe you haven't heard of the sheep that we used to have on Mauna Kea. You know, you can hunt sheep at 10,000 plus feet elevation. Well, that's mostly wiped out and eradicated. All these things that we used to have are gone, and you're probably only going to hear of Lanai or maybe whatever social media insta famous folks hunting Maui or all these other things. But anyway, Lanai is the only real public opportunity for access deer hunting, and one of the things that we treasure. So understand that. I think you'll see you do have to draw if you're rifle hunting, you do have to draw a weekend, so to speak. Muzzleloader season, you have to apply. Archery, you have to apply. And the seasons have changed in archery over the years. All this, a lot of politics, some data driven, some not data driven, just real crazy stuff. Can't get into all of that here to really educate everyone, but just understand that this hunt is, in my opinion, I'm surprised that we still have it today. Right, I've been doing it since I first got a hunting license back in 1996, I believe. So I've been doing it since then, since I was a kid, and looking at the trajectory of things to where they are today, I'm quite impressed that we still have it, that the environmentalists didn't wipe us out yet. So if you can, you know, really support the hunting community in this. You know, you're buying your license, you're buying your tags, you're all of this, but if you can, you know, and you enjoy the hunt, speak well of it, you know. I don't know, just I think every hunter out there, we kind of need to be the advocate for ourselves. You know, there's organizations and all of that maybe in the mainland and all, but in Hawaii we don't have that. So, you know, for the local hunter here or for the hunter coming here, you got to be the advocate for Hawaii hunting and be the advocate for sound game management practices. You know, when you're in the mainland, you guys have, you know, the North American model. You guys apply for tags, you guys have data, you guys have all these cool things. But when you come to other islands, maybe not so much Lanai, but when you come to like the Big Island or some other places, maybe Kauai, you might find that you don't need a tag for stuff. The department doesn't really take data. They don't really do anything. It's really willy-nilly because the agenda is that, or the hope is that hunters eradicate all of the animals themselves, and eventually we can just do away with the hunting, fence it all up, turn it into an aquarium of perfect environmentalist plants that, you know, may or may not be realistic, but that's the world we live in. So I wanted to at least touch on that point, that the hunt is, you know, I would say if you want to go, do it as soon as you can and experience it as it is, because it is changing over time. But it's my opinion, I don't know how long that will last because of the politics surrounding the hunt and any hunting in Hawaii, to be quite honest. Now into some logistics. How you gonna get there? How are you gonna hunt it, right? Lanai, again, not as densely populated. You're not gonna see, budget rent a car and dollar rent a car in Avis all over the place for you to go rent a car. Truth is, there's a five-star resort there, Manila Bay. If you've got the tax bracket to hunt like that, then by all means, please spend your money in Hawaii and stimulate the economy for us. But for the majority of us, I'm assuming that's a little bit outside of your tax bracket, maybe. So there are opportunities with maybe vacation rental by owner, that VRBOs, Airbnbs, and to include even local residents that rent out sections of their house during the hunt. And along with that, they also do rent out vehicles. Now, the vehicles, mind you, like I said, there's not a whole lot of resources and access to things there. So some of the vehicles might not be in the greatest shape and everything, but just know that the local people there, they try their best to provide a quality experience for everybody. But it is what it is. And I hear horror stories of some guys going over there and just beating up the vehicles, right? Treating them like a rented vehicle, obviously. Please, come on, have some class. Don't do that to the locals there. They just, even if they had the money and resources to fix everything they want, you don't readily have access to everything. So it's not just a money thing. It's a challenge to get stuff there. So be mindful of that. And I wouldn't want to see just a few bad actors kind of just get rid of those opportunities, or local people just get really disenchanted or disinterested with visitors coming over to hunt there, because the amount of deer there and all of that, they do need visitors there. So that covers kind of like where you can stay, get some vehicles. Next would be probably the airlines, right? How you gonna fly in there? So back in the day, or maybe pre-corona, we used to have multiple airline companies that fly there. After corona, the business wasn't there. Maybe some local sentiments of people didn't want people flying around everywhere, and they got their wishes. Now Hawaiian Airlines doesn't fly to Molokai or Lanai anymore, and I think your only options are Mokulele Airlines as a larger commercial air carrier. There may be other smaller ones I'm not aware of, but you can look this up. Another thing to be aware of, I just heard that just recently Mokulele Airlines are not allowing antlers, or maybe even horns at all, on the plane out. So something to consider, for you, for the trophy guys out there. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't hunted the last season. I hunted the season before that, and you guys can check out that video. I think that was 2022's Access Deer season. Anyway, you guys can look on the YouTube channel and find that video about that hunt. And again, I'm gonna do a part 2 on this, going over maybe the stuff that you're more interested in is, my experience with the deer, how maybe I hunt them, and some things to consider when you're gearing up for that hunt. Kind of want to make it enjoyable for folks, but also I don't want to hide any secrets or anything else like that. I would like to at least be of value here. So that covers the airline part of things. You got the weight limits. I think they're all the same for everybody, the 50 pounds and all of that. Generally, how I like to fly is I see a lot of guys, they get into the bow case stuff, that looks like a bow or looks like a gun case. Maybe a suggestion might be to try to look at some of like the Easton bow truck, or the Elevation, or some of the stuff that you see the target archers using. It's like a semi-hard sided case with like duffel storage and organization on it. I think you can fit more stuff in one bag, and in the event that if you're just only an island hop away, you got to put some frozen meat in there or something, you also have space for that. So basically, I carry that kind of bow luggage thing. I have an Easton a bow case bag that I carry, and then it also makes TSA easier. They don't even ask questions. Wait, is it a gun? If it looks like a gun case or bow and all these things, like they just see a bag, they think I'm hauling golf clubs or maybe baseball bats or something. So it's not that. I don't get no questions with it. And they protect it pretty well, pad it up with your clothes and all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing I carry is like a hard-sided cooler. And inside that boat case, I may also put in like a duffel bag, flat without anything in it, in case I have more stuff and I want to bring it back. I can just pay for the extra bag. At least I have the bag. And then I can even carry a soft cooler on my person. I think, is it 16 pounds carry-on weight? I forgot, but I have shot enough deer where I got to put frozen meat in that frozen bag, in the hard cooler, in my duffel, with the bow, and come home that way. So for what it's worth, that's a suggestion as far as flying there. And then also another opportunity used to be the ferry. We used to be able to fly into Maui and then catch the boat ferry from Maui over to Lanai. Ever since the Lahaina fires, tragic deal. I think everybody knows about that who's, you know, watched the news and not living under a rock. So I think obviously the ferry out of Lahaina isn't happening anymore. I think there is another alternative that goes from a different area. I don't know, I haven't taken that, but just know that that option has maybe become a little bit more difficult, not as readily available. So yeah, flying in, Mokulele looks to be your commercial air carrier if you're looking for one. Alright, so that seems to be everything external to the hunt. I hope that covers kind of more of the logistics and, yeah, again, everything outside of actually hunting the deer, right? The hunt management part of it, respecting the local culture where you hunt, figuring out how to get there, car, truck, flying, ferry, all of that. Oh, maybe there's food. There are some restaurants there. I think ours, or last time I was there, hours have changed because of Corona, I guess. I don't know. They don't open for dinner, maybe only lunch or something like that. I don't remember exactly what, but that's something else to consider. What I like to do, a suggestion, is I like to freeze. I freeze my own meals every day, so I might have like curry or something like that, and stews and whatever falls in the bags. I just take them out, make some rice, and then microwave them after a long day of hunting. It depends how you hunt too, right? A lot of local people, it's kind of a chill cruise thing, and it is for me too, but you know, definitions of cruise and chill are different for everybody. And generally I hunt with a group of guys, and they stay out all day, I stay out all day. Sometimes I don't, I'll move back and forth, but for the most part I plan to stay out all day. I'm just, maybe cool things happen out there all day, or maybe I'm just too lazy to walk all the way back to the truck and come back all the way out again. I don't know. Just used to it. That's how I grew up hunting Big Island, is dark to dark all day, every day, and that's normal for me. That's relaxation, but it might not be for everybody. So anyway, I don't generally have a whole lot of time to make dinner when I get home, when we get home with the whole crew and everything. So I just heat something up, eat, go to bed, wake up the next morning. Probably still don't get enough sleep, but better than nothing, and it is still a vacation and we're having fun doing it. So that's a suggestion there, maybe for food. Yeah, I don't know, I don't think there's anything much else there. I think that should give you a pretty good starting point on some of the hunt externals, so to speak. In the next video, probably more interesting for the hunters out there, I'll kind of go over maybe my experience with the axis deer, things that maybe you should consider in the way you hunt it, in the way you approach your equipment and gear, especially for the archer. Yeah, axis deer are pretty quick. I've had my share of deer jumping the arrows. In fact, probably the majority of the ones that I shoot at do move in some fashion before the arrow gets to them. So some things I found over the years that have worked for me, I can share that in the next following video. So hopefully that's more important, or not more important, more interesting for you. Anyway, hope this video was interesting. Hope it was of useful information to you. If you got any questions, of course you can leave them in the comments. I can't answer everything, but I can see the notification and the comment there, and it might give me a good idea for a future video. So if you graciously would like to do that, please leave that there. And until the next video, see you guys then, and aloha. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.